Welcome to this week's episode of Batter Up. Today we have redshirt junior Harry Kamholtz with us to reveal some things about himself and his teammates. Harry, you ready?
I'm ready.
Can you characterize the role you play on the baseball team on and off the field?
Yeah, sure. Well, on the field, I'm not a guy that plays every day, but kind of a guy that's on the bench, kind of giving my teammates, the energy that they need during the game, and when I do get a chance, do my best to help the team win. And off the field, I'm just kind of an older guy that can give some experience and some, good advice to some of the younger players.
You wear number 34. Is there a reason behind that?
Not really, but when I first got here and I saw my name on the roster with that number, I kind of thought of Walter Payton. It was kind of a nice role model to have, especially being in Chicago. But in high school, I wore 13, which is one of my favorite numbers. But, when you get to college, you don't necessarily get to pick your numbers all the time, so I was okay with whatever number I got.
What is one thing that has happened in your life that's made the biggest impact on who you are today?
I would have to say my dad being a high school coach and a teacher, because that's kind of shaped the way that I was brought up, and it's obviously shaped the way that I want to live my life, because I'm actually going to be planning on being a teacher when I finish school. So I think that's one thing that has really helped me.
Who's your all-time favorite player?
Baseball player?
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about this on the way over here. I would have to say it has to be Paul Konerko, just because I'm a White Sox fan, and it's impressive to see his consistency every year and how good he plays no matter how old he's getting. So that's nice to see.
What is your favorite baseball moment?
My favorite baseball moment was definitely last year when we had to win like our last 6 games in conference, and we needed Wright State to lose. So we did that, and after one of our games, we came in our clubhouse and watched the Wright State game on the webcast, and we saw them lose, and we actually did a dog pile in the clubhouse after we had, tied for the conference championship. So that was a pretty good moment of mine.
What is your favorite restaurant in Chicago?
Favorite restaurant in Chicago might have to be Flat Top, just because it's kind of a change to what you're usually used to, and it's a good first date place. So maybe one day a lucky lady will be able to come there with me. I don't know.
If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I'm a big Italian guy, so I like pasta. If I had to pick something else, I love Bocce Pizzeria. So that's like the place I usually go to, especially because it's the only one open when we're done with practice at about 10 o'clock, so it's a good place.
What is your all-time favorite movie?
I would have to go with The Departed. A lot of good characters in that movie, and just the storyline's really good, and it just has a really unexpected ending, and that's something that's good to have in a movie, something that keeps you on your toes.
If you could have any superhero power, which would you choose?
I'm going to have to shout out to Eric Wyman on this one. I like to do the teleport, be able to teleport from one place to another with a blink of an eye. I think it'd be cool to see a lot of the wonders of the world through that, and be able to not have to travel all the way to do it. So that's one power I'd like to have.
What TV show would you like to star in?
Unlike Matt Salemi, I would not like to star and Keep It Up with the Kardashians, even though Kim is very, very attractive. But I would have to say Jersey Shore, just to see what those guys actually do, and to see how it is behind the scenes with them, and to see how they actually react outside the camera.
If you could ask any 5 people, dead or alive, to dinner, who would they be?
First, I would have to go with Babe Ruth. Definitely, he'd have to be in there. Mika Kelly, she's one of my favorites, so she would definitely be in attendance. I'd like to bring my dad along, just because I feel like we've grown a lot the last couple of years since I've been away at school. And 2 more. Who else would I bring? I have to bring Owen Wilson, definitely, and Chris Rock.
What are 3 attributes you look for in a dream girlfriend?
I definitely like her to be funny, obviously, and I think that a big part of having a good relationship with someone is being able to trust them, so they're very loyal and honest with you. And the third one is that she's an athlete. I think that's a big part of what I look for in a girl.
Who's your dream celebrity girlfriend?
Like I said, it has to be Mika Kelly. I mean, she dated Derek Jeter, who is, obviously one of my idols, but she's also beautiful, so definitely her.
What is one thing you can't leave the house without?
I can't leave the house without my phone, obviously, but if I had to pick something else, I mean, I'm sure everyone had that answer. I actually have my grandfather's license in my wallet that my uncle gave to me a couple weeks ago, and he kind of was like a big part of my dad in his life, so it was a big deal to him that I had it. So it's kind of something I keep in my wallet for, like, good luck.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve is when you're texting somebody and like back and forth, on and off, like right after another. Then you go to call them and they don't answer, like they just threw their phone out the window or something. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I mean, I guess I can be guilty of that sometimes too. So I just don't know why that happens. But that's a pet peeve.
What's the most played song on your iPad?
Right now it has to be "Drunk on You" by Luke Bryan. It's one of my new favorite country songs. So
If you had to pick one guy on the team, who do you think would win an eating competition?
I'm gonna have to give a shout out to Colin Wire. I mean, he usually eats healthy. He's good with that, but I think that if there was no holds bar, he would be the one to pick.
Which of your teammates is always on his phone or computer?
I have to go with Joey Beagle. Every time we're on the bus or even in the clubhouse, he's always playing, that Temple Run or some kind of game on his phone. Even when you're talking to him, he's like looking down at his phone, answering your questions. He just doesn't get his eyes off his phone. So I have to say Joey Beagle.
What's the best chant that's said on the bench during games?
During the game, well, when Alex Del Rosa's hitting, we have Andres, who's another guy that just speaks Spanish usually to him, but he's always in the dugout yelling things in Spanish that nobody can understand. It's just funny because it's just a different curveball that we're not used to on the bench, so people get a kick out of that, especially in the beginning of the year.
Your teammates calls his parents every day.
I would have a lot of people like to point at Nick Addison for this one, but I hang out with Ryan Boss quite a bit, and he's on his phone a lot. I don't know who it's with. Either it's his girlfriend or his mom and dad, but he's on his phone a lot, and I'm sure it's not with his girlfriend all the time, so I have to say Ryan Boss is talking to his parents quite a bit.
Who do you think the most studious person on the team is?
The most studious person on the team would have to be Mike Schoolcraft, definitely. I mean, he's always in class, always working hard on his schoolwork, so I'm giving some credit on that.
Which of your teammates tells the worst jokes?
I'm pretty bad with jokes, but I would have to go with Tyler Detmer. You think he's going to tell a great joke with a great punchline, and then it just kind of ends.
Who has the best hair on the team?
See, it shouldn't be much of a sleeper, but I have to give it to Joe Betcher. He's really worked on the cabbage in the back, especially with his helmet and hat on. It's pretty impressive. So Joe Betcher for sure.
Who on the team is most likely to star in a TV show?
I have to go with Chris Hoffman on this one. He's just the kind of guy that will kind of just go with the flow and just do what people are doing, and he always has a great sense of humor, and he's always making people laugh, so I'd have to go with Chris Hoffman.
What show can you see him on?
I can see him on The Real World, definitely, or Jersey Shore as well. Just something like that he can really be himself and just take all the attention from the camera. Definitely Chris Hoffman.